Oh, we're live. Want to sleep on the camera?
Hey, ho, hey.
Solo man operations, single man, double man operations. Hey, welcome to EXSIN Live. We're super excited to be here. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you showing up. And today, we're going to talk about 3 policies that will help you keep your employees by improving their work-life balance. This article was written by Nanula Davies at Fast Company. She's got some great points. We're going to talk about, it's kind of been an employee thing the last couple of weeks. Talk about how we motivate our employees to keep them there to do their thing. So, Phil, I'm going to jump into real quick, and we can talk a lot about this. The first one, provide a flexible work environment.
Yeah, I tell you, this workforce right now, it used to be you showed up when they told you to, you stayed until they told you to leave, and you didn't ask any questions. And those days are over, my friend. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about this last week. Quality of life, flexibility in scheduling, those types of things, work schedules is such a high priority for the workforce today.
Well, and it's all about managing expectations, right? Yep. Setting the expectation, managing the expectation, and building different metrics to track your employees' work, right?
Yes.
Because you still have to run the business, right? You can't have people staying at home and saying they're at work but not doing anything,
right?
Which has happened.
It has.
So the question is in the flexible work environment, how are you going to hold your team accountable? What things you put in place to help them live the life they want to live while massively growing your company?
And I would tell you and this is going to sound like Big Brother here, but there are, anytime there's change, there's always opportunity, and there's all kinds of technologies that have been built to help do those things, help track. But I think to set that aside for a second, it's about the human element. It's about that culture, right? Build a culture of outstanding, of excellence, and to really create a place where people want to be engaged in doing their job, whether they're at their home, at an office, in a coffee shop, doesn't matter, that they're doing what they need to be doing.
Yeah, and don't let them be in a silo by themselves if they're not working at your office. Take care of them, because that steps to the next step. In today's world, we have to provide mental and emotional health for our employees. Yep. We have to look out for them, because I'm just going to be brutally honest. When I was a kid, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't have this. We weren't getting harassed and bullied on social media sites. Adults have lost their ever loving mind. They'll say anything they want to on here and just be brutally mean.
No filter. No filter.
Back when we were kids, you did that, you got popped in the mouth. Now I'm not saying you pop people in the mouth, but it prevented a lot of the stupid. So we have people that have no sense of common decency, just destroying people's lives for no good reason.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah. So, you've got to take that into consideration. I would encourage you to get involved in community groups like your chamber, your Rotary. So you have that group of support and allow your employees to attend those events. Also, make sure you're checking on them, because you don't know what they're dealing with their family outside of work, because somebody's bullying them.
And let's talk about that for a second, because there's ways to check up on people, right? And when I say check up, we're not talking about work. We're talking about just how are they as human beings? How are they doing? Go to the coffee shop, go have a cup of coffee with your people. If they're, create opportunities to get together in small group settings so that you can have those conversations, but you've got to create those things, as Dave said, for the mental health of your workplace.
And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. It was a real big transition for me to go from being in the military to being out of the military, because for the units I was involved in, people say they had bad experience. The units I was involved in, for the most part, the leadership was very engaged with the team.
Yep.
They were always looking out for them. They were in their personal lives as well as their business lives, their professional lives, to make sure they were doing okay.
Yes.
When you take 300 people into combat, you want to know that everything's going okay. And if it's not, how do you work through those challenges at home with the kids, the spouse, whatever? I'm just going to tell you, it's time for us as non-military members to start doing the same thing with our employees.
Yeah. I mean, you got to engage. One of the practices that I've had over the years is, before I would hire somebody, I always wanted to meet their spouse.
Yep.
Go have dinner, go have lunch, go meet somewhere where you could give that spouse an opportunity to ask questions, figure out, because let me tell you something, you're not just hiring the person you're hiring, you are hiring their family.
You're absolutely. They're part of the organization. Yep.
And I think the military gets that so right.
Yep. They try really hard.
Yeah. And the private sector businesses that do that, man, their retention rate's so much higher. So much higher.
You've got to realize that if you have problems at home, you have problems at work. Yep. If your employees have problems at home, they have problems working, and you've got to help them work through those problems. Now, there's people that are private that don't want to say their business. I get that. Yep. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to be good human beings and look out for one another.
Absolutely. 100%.
The last thing, and this is, we did this last week. And it's provide opportunities or access to continuing education.
Yeah.
OK Vet Works here in Oklahoma did a great event last week. We had 160 different businesses show up, I think.
Great job, Darren.
Great job, Darren. Great job on the planning and the education you provided and the breakout sessions. That's what companies need.
Yes.
They need a place where their employees can go once a quarter or maybe twice a year, if you can't do it once a quarter, to go spend 2 days and sharpen their sword.
Yeah. I mean, being in a room with other business owners, with other startups, there was several startups there. There were several mature businesses there, but being in a room together collectively, one of the things we did, we were lucky enough to get to be speakers. And one of the things we did is we asked people, what's a problem you're dealing with right now? And man, the exchange that came out of that room, it was powerful. And it still comes down to this. I don't care if you live in Oklahoma, New York City, LA, or anywhere in between or near and far, people want to help other people. I mean, they really do. When you get by all the junk that you see, that you're watching on the news, and you just really get an opportunity to be in a room full of people, they want to help one another. And I think that's where the power is in those kind of settings. That's a fact. And as a matter of fact, if you're in the Edmond Guthrie area tomorrow at 8 a.m., we're doing the same thing for the Edmond Chamber at their office on 2nd Street. So show up, be a part of it, learn what it's like to be empowered by your peers. We have 2 people that are going to be in the hot seat tomorrow for an hour total. And it's going to be great to see how the group interacts. We're going to be there to referee. Yeah. But we're going to let the group, the business owners in the room and employees, work through those challenges and help other business owners grow their business. Yeah. Starts at what time? 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Bright and early, 8 a.m. at the Edmond Chamber. Yeah. So with that, we're at a point in time with all that's going on in the world, all the insanity going on the internet, all the back and forth between what party in, who you're voting for. We need to be responsible adults and stop and take care of one another. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, on a human level, forget about business for a second. We got to support each other, love on each other. Understand that if it's not your turn to be going through something, it's coming. Everybody gets a turn. They do. And and as I like to tell people, none of us are special. We're all going to face challenges and adversities, different types, but you got to have folks that can lean in with you and walk next to you to help get through those things. So we encourage people to do that. Build that support network, take care of your employees. So continuing education, flexible work schedule, make sure you have resources for mental health and development. And the last thing I'll tell you, if you're willing and your organization is willing, work out as a unit, work out as an organization, go walk once a week, go do something physical. Go on a trail walk. Yeah. And you're going to get more team building out of that, and you're going to build that team. And they're going to appreciate you more than anything. I know the organization workers did that. It was great. People always thought in the military PT was just supporting physical conditioning. No. PT was about unit cohesion. PT was about bonding together, about learning, about supporting each other. I mean, that's what physical training was really about. You got to have an in-shape fighting force, but beyond that, you've got to have people that understand that they're in something together. And you learn strengths and weaknesses in those events. Yeah, no question. So definitely find a way to work out with your group, even if it's simple stuff. Yep. We want you to be successful. If you have questions, reach out to us at info@exsin.co, not com, co, and we're here for you for whatever you need. Yeah. So with that, Dave and Phil, we are out of here. I'm really out of here. You are out of here. You're gone. Had all this crap I'm going to take.